You did it. You took the plunge. The surgery is over. The vet has given your cat a clean bill of health, and you finally exhaled, expecting your home to become a sanctuary of peace and quiet. But then, a week goes by, maybe a month, and you watch in total disbelief, perhaps even a little horror, as your fixed feline friend still shows a very unmistakable interest in the neighborhood cat, a plush toy, or even your favorite throw pillow. Don't rush to call the clinic just yet to complain about a defective surgery. Today, we're going to dive into why feline biology is far more complex than just removing a few parts. Welcome to all you cat lovers out there. You've found the place where we learn to understand our pets through the lens of science, wrapped in a blanket of care. Today's topic is a bit delicate, but it's incredibly important for any cat parent. Neutering is a standard procedure that we're told is the final word on mating behaviors. However, reality often likes to throw us a curveball, leaving many owners feeling confused or even worried. Did the surgery fail? Is he in pain? Wait, am I about to have a surprise litter of kittens? Understanding how a cat's behavior changes, or doesn't change, after being fixed is the key not just to your peace of mind, but to your cat's long-term well-being. We're going to break down why those instincts linger like a ghost in the machine, and we'll identify exactly when it's a normal part of the process and when it's time to call the vet. The first thing we need to clear up is the difference between fertility and physical ability. Neutering isn't like flicking a light switch that turns off the body's hardware. It's more about cutting off the supply chain for the fuel, testosterone and sperm. But here's the fascinating scientific nuance. While neutering removes the ability to father kittens, it doesn't turn the cat into an anatomical blank space. The physical ability to achieve an erection and perform the act of mounting remains intact. This is a physiological process governed by blood vessels and nerve endings, not just the testes. Think of it like a car. We've removed the main gas tank responsible for long-distance travel, but the starter motor can still produce a spark, and there's often a little fuel left in the lines. So, when you see those characteristic movements, know that it's not a miracle of nature or a surgical error. It's simply the body's existing hardware still knowing how to function. Your cat might hug a blanket or toy out of habit. It doesn't mean he's broken. It just means his body still remembers the old commands. Now let's peer into the most mysterious territory of all, the mind of our furry friends. That's where the real secrets of behavior are kept. Why does a cat keep trying to mate when the hormones are supposedly gone? The answer often lies in muscle memory. If your cat was neutered later in life, say after 2 or 3 years, and he had actual experience with the ladies, he has developed what scientists call a fixed behavioral pattern. For an adult cat, the ritual of courting or mounting is part of his identity, much like our habit of checking our phones first thing in the morning or reaching for a specific mug for our coffee. The hormones might be gone, but the software program in his brain is still running. It's like deciding to go on a strict diet, but your feet still instinctively lead you to your favorite bakery during your lunch break. He's doing it simply because that's how it's always been. For you, the owner, this means one thing: patience. Memory is a stubborn thing, but over time, without the hormone boost, these habits usually begin to fade. However, there is a technical detail that vets sometimes forget to mention in the rush of the post-op pickup. And this detail can lead to some very unexpected consequences. This is perhaps the most critical part of our video. Listen closely. A neutered cat can actually still father kittens in the first few weeks after surgery. It sounds like a myth, but it's pure biology. After the surgery, testosterone levels don't plummet to zero instantly. It's a gradual decline that can take 4 to 8 weeks. But even more importantly, the pipes, the vas deferens, can still hold residual swimmers, viable sperm produced before the visit to the doctor. These little guys can stay active and dangerous for up to 6 weeks. If you have an unspayed female cat at home, you must keep them in separate rooms for at least a month and a half. During this period, your ex-bachelor is still technically a threat. Don't play the odds unless you're ready for an unexpected expansion of your cat family. But what if months have passed, the grace period is over, and your cat is still acting like the king of the jungle? Sometimes the issue isn't inside him, it's in the air. Cats live in a world of scents that is almost entirely invisible to us. Pheromones are chemical messages that practically scream at a cat about what's happening in the environment. Cats have a specialized tool for this, the Jacobson's organ, or the vomeronasal organ, located on the roof of their mouth. It allows them to taste the air. Even a neutered male can detect the scent of a female in heat from hundreds of yards away. That scent bypasses the logical brain and hits the ancient primal centers responsible for survival. He starts acting manly without even realizing why. Most surprisingly, this can even happen with spayed females. If a female cat has even a tiny amount of active ovarian tissue left, which happens rarely, or if her adrenal glands are working overtime, she might smell interesting to the male. Your cat isn't being a troublemaker. He's just responding to a chemical siren song he can't ignore. Sometimes, though, the cause isn't psychological or environmental. It's something hidden deep within the cat's own anatomy. We need to talk about a medical condition called Cryptorchidism. This is a fancy word for hidden testicle. It's a congenital condition where one or both testes fail to drop into the scrotum, staying instead inside the abdomen or the groin. If a surgeon didn't know about this or couldn't locate the hidden one during a standard procedure, the cat remains semi-neutered. On the outside, everything looks fine, the stitches heal, but inside there's a tiny hidden factory still pumping out testosterone. This cat will continue to spray, fight, and actively seek out mates. If that aggressive macho behavior doesn't fade after 3 or 4 months, it's a red flag. You should schedule an ultrasound and a blood test to check testosterone levels. Your little hero might need a second, more specialized surgery to find that hidden source of trouble. Nature can be even more inventive than that. Sometimes organs that have nothing to do with reproduction try to help out. In rare cases, once the primary source of testosterone is gone, the adrenal glands take over the relay race. These tiny glands normally produce just a trace amount of sex hormones to keep the body in balance. But due to certain glitches like hyperplasia or small tumors, they can start mass-producing testosterone. At this point, it's no longer about attitude. It's a medical endocrine disorder. The cat becomes a prisoner of his own physiology. He might be constantly overstimulated, needy, or even aggressive toward you. Think of it like a coffee machine breaking down, so you try to brew your morning cup in the toaster. It's hot, but the result is messy, unpredictable, and not what anyone wanted. This requires a vet endocrinologist and specific lab tests to diagnose and treat. So we've covered the why. Now for the big question, when will it finally be quiet? There isn't a universal calendar because every cat is a unique individual, but the statistics give us a good roadmap. For kittens neutered early, around 6 months old, the interest in mating usually vanishes almost immediately or never appears at all. They simply never learned the mating game. For adult males, the timeline usually looks like this. In the first 2 weeks, he's still on a hormonal high. After 1 month, the testosterone levels drop significantly. He becomes calmer and more affectionate, though the old habits are still there. Usually by the 2 or 3 month mark, the hormonal dust has settled, and the romantic urges fade away. If 6 months have passed and he's still patrolling your pillows with the same intensity, it's time for a vet checkup. Or perhaps he's just incredibly bored and has found a very specific, albeit awkward way to entertain himself. How can we as owners help our friends through this transition? First and foremost, never punish or yell at him. Your cat isn't doing this to spite you or embarrass you in front of guests. He's navigating an ancient instinct that he currently has no control over. Instead, try to redirect that energy into play. Increase the active time with feather wands, new interactive toys, and brain games like food puzzles. Often, what we mistake for sexual behavior is just an overflow of unspent predatory energy. If you have 2 cats of opposite sexes, the most humane and effective solution is to have both fixed. This lowers the overall vibration of the household. When no one is broadcasting hormonal signals, the stress and fighting drop to almost zero. Your job is to be the wise, calm leader who understands the temporary storms your pet is sailing through. To wrap things up, neutering isn't a magic button, but it is the start of a much calmer, safer, and longer life for your cat. Yes, he might occasionally remember his glory days or react to the spring air coming through the window. In most cases, it's just an echo of an instinct that will eventually go silent. Just remember the danger zone of those first few weeks and keep an eye on his health and give him enough love and engagement so he doesn't have time to worry about his old habits. May your cat stay healthy, and may your homes always be filled with warmth and understanding. Tell us in the comments, have you ever dealt with this unexpected behavior from your cat after surgery? How long did it take for them to settle into their new life? Your stories help other owners feel less alone in their confusion. If this video helped you breathe a sigh of relief and understand your furry rebel a little better, we'd love it if you gave us a like. It helps us keep creating content for everyone whose heart belongs to a cat. Until next time, on the channel where we uncover the secrets of those who walk by themselves.